The Little Girl and the Winter Whirlwinds. One night, a wicked and frosty winter wizard decided to stop spring from coming and make winter last forever. He trapped the sun behind dark clouds and covered the earth with heavy snow. The following morning, people from a small mountain village woke up and found their houses buried under the snow up to the roofs. They started digging tunnels from their home to neighboring houses and gathered in small groups wondering what to do. They finally decided that the best thing to do was to send someone on the highest mountain peak where the good winter queen Madam Snowfeathers lived in her palace of snow and ask her for help. But no one was willing to go on such a dangerous journey. "I am ready to go," an old man said, "but I am afraid I am too old and slow to reach the peak on time. If only I was 20 years younger." "Don't worry, grandfather, I will go," his little granddaughter said. She lived with her dear old grandfather and loved him so. "No, not you," the neighbors cried. "You are too young and tender for such a hard job. You don't even have a warm coat, no hat and scarf, not even woolen mittens." "I'm not afraid," the little girl said. "My feet are strong and I'm as fast as a mountain goat." "But you'll freeze up there with no shelter to hide from the frost." "I will not," the girl said firmly. "I have a warm little heart full of love for everyone. It will save me from the frost." "Go, my child," the old man said. "I know your good heart, and I trust it." The children, who were all friends of hers, gave her their warmest clothes. "Here, take my coat," one of them said. "My mittens are so warm, put them on," said another. "Take my hat, my scarf, my woolen socks, take my boots." Soon, the little girl was ready to go. She waved back at her friends and started for the snowy mountain. She went further and higher, never thinking about rest. And soon she was able to see the glittering ice on the top of the highest peak of the mountain. But all of a sudden, the whirlwinds woke up from their sleep, and noticing the little figure in the snow became furious. "Who dares to trespass our property? Let's show her who we are!" they screamed. "Let's blow at her so hard until she forgets where she's heading for." And they started whirling fiercely around the little girl. But she only huddled into her warm coat and bravely trudged on. The whirlwinds got very tired, and one after the other fell on the ground, gasping for breath. "What a strong girl," one of them said. "We're exhausted. She's not even tired." "No human being has ever overmastered us, let alone such a fragile little girl. Oh, if we cannot manage ourselves, let's call our sisters, the blizzards, for their help." So they called for the blizzards. And the blizzards came, and they were very angry. "She will pay for that," they roared, and they threw themselves at her. Well, it was a long and uneven struggle, but the girl overcame the blizzards too, thanks to her strong, warm heart that never let her feel weary or scared. The blizzards fell on the ground, breathing heavily. "That's a shame," one of them hissed. "We're not able to stop her. Let's call our father for help." "Father! Father!" they all screamed. "Come to help us!" Now their father was the frosty winter wizard. He came at once and he said, "I saw everything. Now listen to me. When you cannot defeat someone by force, turn things the other way around. Let's be good to her." What do you mean? Let the sun shine through? A whirlwind asked, shocked. Nothing of the sort, the frosty winter wizard said. Let's just try to be polite and kind, so she will never suspect us of any wrongdoings, and then we'll trick her. The frosty winter wizard transformed and appeared before the girl as a beautiful young woman in a sparkling green gown with long hair and a crown of ice. The disguised wizard began to sing. Wow. Am I dreaming, or is this some good miracle? The girl thought. This beautiful lady in front of me has the face of my dear, sweet, departed mother, and I can hear her voice singing my lullaby. Oh, how I want to hear some more. I'll sit here for a minute, she said to herself. I'm near to the palace enough. No more than an hour of walking left. I'll be on time. Just a few minutes of listening. And so the little girl sat down in the snow and she listened. And she listened and listened. And eventually she closed her eyes. And the frosty winter wizard grinned in delight. Sleep, little girl, and may you sleep forever! Then he returned to his true winter wizard form in his long dark cloak, and he left the sleeping girl in the heavy snow. And the little girl was sleeping and sleeping, smiling happily. But as time went on, and passed, her pink cheeks became red, and then blue, and then pale white. She was slowly freezing, until all of a sudden, something stirred in the snow. A squeaking sound was heard, and a tiny little head showed up in the snow. It was a white little mouse. Her shiny black eyes fixed on the little girl, fast asleep. Someone's in trouble, squeaked the mouse, and right then a number of mice peeped their heads out of the snow. They ran over to the little girl and started massaging her feet and hands. But the mice were so little, they decided to call their friends the rabbits for help. This time, bigger holes opened in the snow, and a number of white rabbits peeped out and ran to the rescue. From the snow-covered pine trees, squirrels jumped down, and soon the girl was covered with white and brown fur all over. The little animals warmed her up with their own furry bodies, and they were so happy to see her cheeks finally turning pink again. Now soon the little girl opened her eyes, amazed to see all the animals around her. She thanked her new friends and told them why she was there and where she was going. We've seen you. We're coming with you, the animals cheered. We also suffer very much from this never-ending winter. Flocking around the girl, the animals accompanied her up to the ice palace. There, they all knocked at the pearly gates, but no one answered. What might have happened to the good winter queen, Madame Snowfeathers? They all wondered. Let's try to open the door. It's not locked. And so, with all their might together, they opened the heavy gate and they stepped inside and ran to the palace. A glittering, icy corridor inside led them to a big crystal hall, and there, on a gorgeous throne made of ice, good winter Queen Madame Snowfeathers was fast asleep, sitting on her snowy throne. Two squirrels jumped in her lap and tickled her face with their furry tails. A big, mighty sneeze made them all freeze. But Madame Snowfeathers opened her eyes and smiled. What are you doing here, little friends? And the little girl told the good winter queen everything. You mean I have slept here while the wicked frosty winter wizard was trying to stop spring from coming? Madame Snowfeathers asked, astonished. I guess he tried to outsmart me and he tricked me into a deep sleep. Thank you, little ones, for waking me up. Now I'll restore the natural order. And then she blew on her silver whistle, and all of her winter friends came in the big snowy hall. Magical snow bears, foxes, geese, rabbits, rabbits, moose, and birds. She ordered them to go and find the frosty winter wizard and bring him back to her palace so she could lock him down in a cellar until next year, when it was his time to make winter. She also told them to use their good magic to clear the skies of dark clouds so that the sun could melt the snow. The way back to the village, nestled in the mountain, was much easier for the little girl, and her furry new friends came along the way. When they arrived at the edge of the forest, her friends stayed behind and promised to help her anytime she needed. When the little girl crested over the hill and arrived in the village, everyone cheered. All was restored in nature, and a beautiful spring came. The end.